Hour here, and another threat of political violence in America. The FBI making an arrest in a chilling murder-for-hire plot targeting Attorney General Pam Bondi. We are learning brand new details at this hour. Welcome back as America Reports heads into Hour 2. I'm Sandra Smith in New York.
Scary stuff, Sandra. I'm John Roberts. In Washington, the 29-year-old Minnesota man is accused of putting out a $45,000 hit on the Attorney General. It all started on TikTok when a post with the bounty started going viral before setting off a swift federal investigation.
And the suspect's rap sheet is long, and his online activity reveals ties to anarchist symbolism and anti-government literature.
Our justice correspondent David Spunt live here in Washington. What else are we learning, David, about the suspect?
Well, John, he is charged with threatening Attorney General Bondi in a TikTok post. According to authorities in this affidavit that we just saw a couple of hours ago, unsealed recently, he allegedly offered a $45,000 bounty. In the post, there's a photo, and this was on TikTok, a photo of the Attorney General with a sniper red dot, and it reads, "Wanted Pam Bondi, reward $45,000, dead or alive, preferably dead." That's a quote. He is in custody. Additionally, his TikTok page had anarchist symbols, according to the affidavit filed. The affidavit reads, quote, "Additionally, the suspect user's TikTok page had a link to an anarchist FAQ book pinned to his page. According to open source research, as well as based on your affiant's training and experience, anarchism is a political philosophy and movement that seeks to abolish all institutions that perpetuate authority, coercion, or hierarchy, primarily targeting the state and capitalism." Now, FBI agents John and Sandra from Detroit, Michigan, received a tip from someone who was on TikTok, noticed the post in their feed, then reported this post. The FBI worked with Google, Comcast, and TikTok to find this guy. Google helped with IP logins, IP locations. They also were able to find his email. Now, according to the affidavit, he has a multi-state criminal history, as you mentioned, including a 2022 felony stalking and domestic assault misdemeanor charge. We reached out to the Justice Department. So far, we're being told no comment.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is another radical, insane leftist. Doing murder for hire for Pam Bondi because these people are inherently violent. Now, I don't know how many times on this channel in the past, after essentially Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I can't tell you on how many times that I have done reports and articles and all that of leftists inherently trying to eliminate someone or cause mayhem and destruction. And I think this is a time ongoing that is a very consistent thing with the far left. And you can say, oh, we're not the violent ones. Well, why are you guys always doing it? Please give me I would love to actually have leftists give me video or actual footage or even an article of a far right wing or a MAGA person, if you call them, that are doing these heinous crimes, because I would do a report on that too. But some reason I'm gonna have a real hard time thinking that you guys are gonna have a hard time finding that, and I'm not gonna be talking about the guy that blew up the church because I already reported on that. So you're gonna have to do a lot better than just all that stuff as well. So we have this here from Law and Crime. And a few other things as well. We have sniper scope red dot death threat against Pam Bondi. On TikTok leads to arrest of suspect with multi-state conviction history. Says a TikTok post with the crosshairs over the forehead of U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi appearing to a tipster to offer $45,000 for a hit on the nation's top law enforcement officer resulted in the arrest of a 29-year-old suspect in Minnesota. The suspect, identified by the feds as Tyler Maxon Avalos, is charged with interstate transmission of a threat to injure another person. As first reported by Seamus Hughes, in all too familiar threat environment, the federal state criminalizes any threat to kidnap any person or any threat to injure the person of another, an offense punishable upon conviction by up to 5 years in prison. Now, I don't know about you, but perhaps that threat should be up a bit more, right? Maybe it should be 10 years. Guys, I hate to say this, but I know I don't hate to say this. It's like, if you're going after a political person for whatever reason, it needs to be at least 10 years, because the reason why I say this is because, well, it's a political person. You're trying to sow division, be a terrorist, and all that other stuff to people, and you need to have a higher count on that. And that goes with everybody, by the way. If it's Democrat or Republican, if you are threatening a Republican or Democrat's life or what have you, I don't think 5 years is going to cut it. I think we're going to at least do 10 years, so that way, like, you can really dissuade people. Because 5 years, that's a long time, but I don't think it's long enough. I don't think. I think we have to have here serious persuasion of being like, yeah, you do this, you're gonna get serious crime, and that's what it should always be. And the only issue that we have with that is that when the Democrats go and arrest others, you have where people are political prisoners, and that's not okay. That can't be allowed too. But once you have people where say for instance, if you have a political prisoner and you've been caught doing this, your time in jail should be add on not just the 10 years of doing this, but on top of maybe another, maybe put it on to another 20 years, so going around 30 years, because it will be the time the person has spent in jail that you get on top of the 10 or 20 years that you would also be getting on top of that as well, right? So it would be very bad for a person to want to politically go after their opponents. So that's what I mean here. And if you did it for 20 years for political attacks and stuff like that, when it comes down to what comes on stuff like this, you would really stop people or politicians wanting to do that type of stuff. But of course, we got to have a high enough persuasion for them not to do it. It says here, according to the affidavit, a TikTok user in Michigan on October 9th called in a tip about Avalos' alleged threat, describing it to the feds as a murder-for-hire post. Included in the court documents was an image of a wanted poster with Pam Bondi's face on it, a sniper scope red dot on her forehead. The words "wanted Pam Bondi" and the caption "cough cough" when they don't serve us, then what? The FBI said that the TikTok poster had the username Wacko with an anarchist symbol in place of the A. Additionally, the suspect user's TikTok page had a link to an anarchist fact book pinned to his page. The feds added that Avalos was arrested in St. Paul on October 16th after investigators checked Minnesota state supervision records and found him at the same address listed in that database due to his prior criminal history. Your affiant also checked Avalos' criminal history and learned that he has a multi-state conviction history, including a July 2022 felony, stalking conviction from Dakota County, and an August 2016 felony, third-degree domestic battery for Polk County, Florida, and an April 26 misdemeanor domestic assault from Dakota County, which appears to have reduced from a felony domestic assault by strangulation charge. No, that's better. Yeah, strangulation. That's fantastic. Ooh. I love it. Yeah, because the felony third degree domestic battery is bad, but misdemeanor domestic assault because for strangulation because. Yeah, that's great. That's so much better. Court documents from Wednesday additionally show that U.S. Magistrate Judge Douglas Miko granted Avalos a release from custody subject to various conditions. Those conditions included no travel outside of Minnesota, continuing mental health treatment, no possession of weapons, no consumption of alcohol, a curfew, GPS monitoring, and no internet access without approval. That is pretty heavy restrictions. The government will have to prove that the post in question constituted a true threat, which could be a steep hill to climb in this case, given the First Amendment protections of political speech and hyperbole. No, because this is not a freedom of speech or First Amendment thing. See, this is the problem that I have with this, right? A lot of these people will go out and do this and be like, oh, well, this is a freedom of speech or what have you, or political speech. No. When you actively go and put a hit out on somebody at, say, like, $4,000 to $5,000 as a reward, and you're actually wanting to end them, that's no longer freedom of speech. That is that's what we call non-freedom of speech. That's what we call threat to violence, threat to injure, threat to murder. So, again, we need to stop this stupid insanity here to where, like, threatening people, that's just freedom of speech. Yeah, no, it's not. You can't just go out and threaten people just because. That's insanely wild behavior. All right, we can't be doing this. So start with the BS here. We have this here as well from the New York Post, pretty much saying 20-year-old anarchist arrested for alleged 45 hit on Pam Bondi. And this is the actual picture here where it says wanted Pam Bondi award $45,000 dead or alive, preferably dead, and what have you. Now, YouTube, don't get angry at me, all right? I am not saying that Pam Bondi should be murdered. I am not saying that I want to put a bounty on her. I am just simply reporting the news because that's what's been going on here. So, yeah. Again, it's not looking good. And again, another thing that we need to know as well here, guys, is simple with all this stuff. Is the mere fact that this person has been out multiple times, and we need to have a 3-strike rule. That's what we need to have. We just need to have a 3-strike rule. The reason why we have to have a 3-strike rule is because, well, if you've done these X amount of high-level crimes, these felony crimes, 3 times, yeah, you don't get back in, you don't get out of prison. You stay in prison, all right? You don't get out. Because obviously this guy has proven that this guy is inherently violent. He won't stop his ways, and he's going to do it again. So, yeah, maybe we should just keep them in prison, or if we want to do the execution method, where we don't want to have taxpayers pay money, then maybe we could do that. Because obviously this is not a way we want to keep on doing this. And of course, we have this picture floating around here where this is the person that was being talked about. This is not the person here, all right? This is not the person. This is the person here. So just to let you guys know, that's kind of what's been going on. So, yeah, another radical leftist going after Pam Bondi, wanting to putting a bounty on her and all that stuff. Crazy, crazy work. This is the work of the leftists as always. They're always inherently violent, and this is actively showing. So, yeah, fantastic. All right, guys. Please, if you have the money, do not put yourself in debt because of me. Please go to my members channel and give me a little bump, a little $5 thing. It's only $5, and all that stuff. But other than that, guys, like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.